Hello, wrestling fans. My name is Aaron Hurt. Glad to have you with us once again for another edition of PWA. For the third consecutive week, we are going to be bringing you action from our event in Zanesville from the Singer Activity Center. We did not want to leave any of this action on the cutting room floor or deprive you fans of it, so we're going to bring you a big six-man tag team match in our main event, as well as singles action featuring franchise player Chris Cruit taking on the Southern Knight Bryan Blade, plus much more in this program. So let's get things sent down to my broadcast colleague Carrington Carlucci at ringside for our first contest.
We continue with
greetings and salutations, and welcome to another edition of the Premier Wrestling Alliance here on YouTube. I am 2K Carrington Carlucci. I'll be joined by my broadcast colleague, Mr. Aaron Hurd, here in just a moment. We've got a great episode of hard-hitting, high-impact action, as only we can bring it to you here at the PWA. Our opening contest will feature the Southern Knight, Bryan Blade, and he'll be taking on the franchise player, Chris Cruit. Should be a hard-hitting, action-packed matchup, wrestling fans. Glad that you're joining us wherever that you may be as we're coming to you live from Zanesville. You see some of the fans here not so impressed so far with the entrance of the Southern Knight, Bryan Blade. He is a double tough customer, though. Multiple title holder here in the Premier Wrestling Alliance. He's showing a little bit of love to a few of the faithful here in Zanesville. A veteran of, I believe, over 20 years of the mat war, so there's not a whole lot that he hasn't seen and or done in this industry. And we will have to wait and see if he is up for the challenge. Of the one-on-one confrontation with the franchise player. I'll take this opportunity to remind everybody about PWA Live action at the first Saturday of every month in Lancaster, Ohio, 737 Slocum Avenue. Let's get the introduction here and I'll finish my thought.
hailing from Memphis, Tennessee, also a former tag team champion and former PWA heavyweight champion, the franchise player, Chris Pruitt.
And a great ovation for the franchise player, Chris Pruitt. Just to finish my thought, make sure that you check out PWA Live action. Not a bad seat in the house at any PWA Live event, but you want to make sure that you check out PWA Live action wherever it is. And you can catch it at the first Saturday of every month at the PWA Arena. And don't forget, a huge event coming to the Fairfield County Fairgrounds on Saturday night, October the 20th. Make sure that you check out PWAOhio.com for all information on upcoming PWA Live events. And I'm really looking forward to this contest between two, well, you would have to call them ring generals. A couple of old school veterans right here. It's going to be a great matchup. Aaron Hurt, your thoughts immediately on this matchup?
This is going to be very fascinating to watch both of these men, as I'm sure you have already noted, extensive resumes in the world of pro wrestling. Perhaps the two longest tenured competitors on the PWA roster.
I think there's, about 40 years of experience between these two men?
Easily, and we're definitely going to see these two men trying their hardest to get a victory, as this could be a very crucial result when it comes to the next set of rankings for our heavyweight champion Randy, our new U.S. champion Tommy Forte, should either one of these men with their experience in tag team wrestling decide to seek out another partner, they would immediately be in contention for those tag titles. Gentlemen currently who hold those will be in action later on in the broadcast, but Bryan Blade looking to get back on track with a victory here after having enough success in his singles run in 2018 to get an opportunity at Randy and that heavyweight championship. Came up short and has, as I said, struggled somewhat to get back in the win column. And this is going to be no easy task for him against a man who is every bit his match as we've established in terms of credentials and experience.
I noticed that both of these men approaching at least the initial tie-up and, of course, the attempt several times at the Greco-Roman knuckle lock very cautiously. So both of these guys don't want to make a mistake early on.
Well, they are quite well known to each other. This rivalry goes back even further than the PWA itself in the Central Ohio and Midwest Wrestling Wars. And so they know very well what each other is capable of and don't want to offer an opening to their opponent in the early going.
Speaking of opening, Chris Cruit looking for an opening here as he is right now being overpowered. He's at a little bit of a weight disadvantage, maybe slightly on the height, but a nice monkey flip there.
Absolutely. He is very, very well skilled at using leverage against the opponent. He has an MMA background, still trains extensively in a lot of those basic techniques, in addition to his pro wrestling conditioning. So that 50-pound difference could amount to the extra wind that franchise player needs to kick out that one extra time.
And we notice here that Bryan Blade being very cautious, as you alluded to a moment ago. Both of these men know each other very, very well. They don't want to make a mistake. They don't want to rush into anything too quickly in this matchup.
Southern Knight also knows how to get in the head of a referee and play some mind games, not just with his opponent, but we said use various tactics to gain an advantage.
Not quite sure what that was. Was that an illegal shot there by Chris Cruit, or maybe just feigning on the part of Bryan Blade trying to pull a fast one?
Case in point, manipulating the referee's vision, manipulating what he thinks he may have seen. Now they lock up, center of the ring. Pruitt ends up. Oh, see, clean break right there, and you saw the subterfuge, or at least the poorly disguised attempt at such.
Yeah, that is just a complete attempt at manipulation of our official, and it seems like he's almost getting it over on him.
Well, I just find it curious that Bryan Blade would resort to such chicanery instead of taking the fight to his opponent.
Well, maybe he knows that. Maybe he knows something that we don't. I mean, I do think that Bryan Blade is very much like Chris Cruit. He is a thinking man's wrestler, and as you know, Aaron Hurt, the match in the ring is, I would say, 50% physical, 50% mental, and both of these guys masters of the mind game.
Absolutely, and there's the possibility that Blade could be trying to disguise an injury of some sort with the pace that both of these men have wrestled. They've obviously got some bumps and bruises, some nagging injuries. We finally see the fisticuffs break out, big Irish whip, back elbow, drops Blade, quick attempt at a cover, only two. Blade reaching for the safety of the ropes, sweeps the leg, cover of his own. Good job using his weight to get the shoulders down, but too early to really have either man in any sort of danger. Just trying to send a message and establish their dominance.
I think that gut shot that Chris Pruitt just got from Bryan Blade took a lot of wind out of him. Now he's taking those heavy lumber forearms right across the shoulders, and it's got to be driving the wind out of those lungs. If a man can't breathe, he can't wrestle.
But most certainly, especially with that chokehold, using every bit of the referee's 5 count.
As I alluded to, both of these guys thinking men's wrestlers, and certainly a very much psychological attack, as well as the physicality being placed here by Bryan Blade in the early going.
We haven't seen either man attempt a high-risk move or anything that's out of their repertoire. A full head of steam, all 315 pounds, just impacts in that corner.
It's almost like a human eclipse. I mean, we got a good camera shot. If the camera was on the other side, I doubt we would have been able to see Chris Cruit at all.
Got him set up, looks like a big cannonball here, and again, all of that mass, all of that momentum.
And in tight with the basement drop kick. Chris Cruit in a lot of trouble here, Aaron.
Yeah, puts together a series of moves, rolls the man over, left that right shoulder exposed just enough for Pruitt to get it off the canvas before the count of three, and that's all it takes for a victory. That's all it takes to turn the tide for perhaps the rest of the year for either one of these men, whatever trajectory they would like to be on. Got off his feet with that forearm.
Pruitt with a flurry of offense, floors the big man. Now let's see if he follows up with a cover, and he does.
Does not hook the leg, and Blade able to use that leg strength to power out at two.
Chris Pruitt seems like he might be a little frustrated there. Maybe it was the referee. Maybe he felt that he should have had this match won already.
He might still be reeling from that big cannonball. It's hard to articulate how an impact to the head, or just the effects of one of these big maneuvers disrupts your thought process, disrupts your ability to get back onto the same game plan that you had coming into it.
Speaking of impact to the head and disrupting your thought process, a huge pile driver drives Bryan Blade out to the floor. I think if he would have stayed in the ring, he might have gotten a 3 count.
Yeah, referee counting both men here. And neither one would be shy about continuing the fight on the floor. But it is a franchise player showing a modicum of sportsmanship. Rolling Blade back in, perched on the second rope, comes off with that forearm smash. Oh, Blade able to get the foot out on the bottom rope to force the break.
Great winger awareness right there by Bryan Blade, knowing where he was inside the squared circle at all times, just stuck his foot over the bottom rope.
And I think we saw a bit of that frustration you spoke of on the face of Chris Cruit. Gets Blade going one way, but took a little bit too much time and got caught with an elbow. Getting back to that ring awareness of Bryan Blade you spoke of. And this is what we mean about these two men being veterans and knowing every inch of that ring. That's how you last that long in the business.
Chris Cruit getting his bell rung by Bryan Blade. Going to be certainly looking for some Tylenol later. Oh, what an uppercut.
Yeah, big forearm uppercut right on the jaw. Looks like it rocked Pruitt. And he practically staggered into that front face lock. Blade looking for a hangman's neck breaker. Oh. Tremendous impact on the neck and the shoulder. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, yeah, I was just going to say, if he gets a cover here, he might have the 3 count right here.
Took a little bit out of it. It looks like he could only drape an arm over, and this time it's Cruit who gets the foot on the rope. Well, referee calling for the bell. Referee says that was a count of 3. I would have to argue that point based on the vantage point we have.
Yeah, Cruit clearly had his foot on the bottom rope at the count of 2, so that is not a clean count, but I don't think the referee saw it. We'll have to see whether or not his decision stands here. The bell has rung.
Well, we'll see if Blade can once again intimidate this referee into seeing things his way. I think the evidence is plain for all of us.
You see some of the fans here at ringside have also pointed and to let the referee know.
And I believe that he's going to let the match continue here.
Well, I think it's a good call. We're going to have a clear-cut winner. Might be setting up for that neck breaker once again.
A Pruitt hook in the backslide.
Backslide, this could be it. And a 3 count. Chris Pruitt picking up a huge victory out of nowhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the franchise player, Chris Pruitt.
Sudden, exciting finish to this match. What do you think?
What a great way to kick off this edition of Premier Wrestling Alliance. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, PWA fans. My name is Aaron Hurt, here to tell you all about how you can keep up with PWA online. Just search PWA Ohio on Facebook or on YouTube, or check out PWAOhio.com for all of the latest information about upcoming events, the latest videos and highlights of past events, and interviews with your favorite PWA wrestlers. So make sure that you like and follow all of those pages. That's PWAOhio.com, PWA Ohio on Facebook, and PWA Ohio on YouTube. And follow along with all of us here from Premier Wrestling Alliance, and we hope to see you at the PWA Arena very soon. Great action to start things off between franchise player Chris Cruit and Southern Knight Bryan Blade. But at this time, fans, we're going to go to some comments from heavyweight champion Randy the Rowdy Hillbilly on the last edition. He ended up getting counted out in his big match against Bjorn, but I had the chance to catch up with Randy after the event and get these words from him. So let's go to that footage right now. Fans, Aaron Hurt here with Randy the Rowdy Hillbilly. Now, you've got to be upset with the result of your match against Bjorn. We see that you did walk out with the championship, but the circumstances under which that match ended seem to have upset many of the fans. They were with you the whole time. You guys fought tooth and nail, but things don't seem like they can end this way between you and Bjorn.
You said it, Aaron. Upset. We fought back and forth, and he took the easy way out. It's not what I wanted. So let me put it this way. You can take this to Nick Stevens and let him know if Bjorn wants a rematch, he's got it. I'll be waiting.
Stern words from the PWA champion, and I hope Nick Stevens was paying close attention. PWA fans, Aaron Hurt here with you. If you like what you are seeing on YouTube, then don't miss the opportunity to see the action live and in person the first Saturday of every month at the PWA Arena, 737 Slocum Avenue in Lancaster. Premier Wrestling Alliance is in action, plus select dates in towns near you. Check out PWAOhio.com for tickets for not just the arena events, but all events. Arena events start at $5. And that's PWAOhio.com for all of your ticket information.
Our next contest.
Welcome back, wrestling fans, to the Premier Wrestling Alliance here on YouTube. And it is main event time.
Introducing first, team number 1. He is a former PWA heavyweight champion at a weight of 218 pounds from Louisville, Kentucky, Mr. 5-star Gary Gandy.
As my colleague alluded to a moment ago,
Say your name.
Gary Gandy, a former PWA heavyweight champion. And he will be flanked by Morgan Taylor and L.A. Cordova. Vicious and Delicious, the reigning PWA tag team champions. Of course, no titles at stake in this one. It is all about settling scores and getting even in this particular matchup, as Gandy and his partners, Vicious and Delicious, will be taking on the team of those Hillbillies, John D. and Juan Crazy Hillbilly, and their tag team partner, the former associate of Gary Gandy, One Wicked Will. Should be an outstanding six-man tag team contest.
They are the PWA Tag Team Champions, the Massachusetts Metrosexual, gorgeous Morgan Taylor and L.A. Cordova.
And here come the reigning PWA Tag Team Champions, Vicious and Delicious. Of course, gorgeous Morgan Taylor, a guy who has never seen a mirror that he didn't like. with his partner, LA Cordova, notwithstanding, have been on a tear as PWA Tag Team Champions. Well, I guess that's a polite way to show some unity by this interesting trio. We'll have to see if we see the same unity out of Wicked Will and those Hillbillies. I'm sure we're going to get quite an ovation for when they come into the arena. And here comes Wicked Will. And I said previously he had an association with one Gary Gandy. A lot of people looked at Will as Gandy's lackey, for lack of a better term. And to borrow a phrase from the Rolling Stones, he's no longer under the thumb of one Gary Gandy. And a lot of people say that he's better for it. Certainly he's getting a pretty nice appreciation from the fans here, but he's not going to get back in there. Those pack of dogs in the ring keeping him out. I would almost wait till I had some backup with me before I'd get in the ring with those three individuals. And again, the trio of Gandy and Vicious and Delicious making sure Wicked Will does not make it into the ring. And we may start this match on the floor.
His partners, they are the PWA former tag team champions, Ron, John D, the Crazy Hillbillies.
A lot of history between this team about to enter into have the backup of Wicked Will. A lot of people argue that the Hillbillies are the uncrowned PWA Tag Team Champions, but I'm going to leave that to you as the fans at home and those here in Zanesville to decide. But it's not about titles tonight. It is about simply getting in here and settling some scores, throwing some hands. And it looks like hands might not be the only thing thrown. What is that? Is that an axe handle, Aaron Hurd?
Certainly appears to be. I tried to avoid it as quickly as possible, the way he was swinging it, brandishing it on his way to the ring. The animosity, the emotion on both sides of this is palpable. Scores to settle no matter how you look at it. And especially with the six-man tag team conditions, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I don't envy John Long at all in this matchup trying to control these three wild men.
No, things already degenerating into chaos before the bell is even rang, apparently. But such is the challenge, as you mentioned, for an official in a six-man tag team match. Let's talk a little bit about a successful strategy in these conditions. I would argue that even more so than in a traditional Australian rules tag team match, a 2-on-2 situation, the need to take advantage of an opportunity is even more important in this one, as we see, reversal and triple drop kicks.
I was going to say, forget about Australian rules. How about no rules? Apparently nobody's going to abide by any, at least here in the opening few moments of this matchup.
And this is not a tornado tag. This is intended to be one man from each team in the ring at a time, but they don't look like they're interested in staying in the ring for very long.
It must be take a superstar home with you night here at the PWA in Zanesville, because they're right out there amongst them.
Cover by Juan. Referee out of position. As we said, trying to restore some semblance of a tag team match here. But this is exactly what Juan needs to do. You need to cut the ring off to create an automatic numbers advantage. If you have the action on your side of the ring, then it's much easier for you to make an exchange to keep the fresh man in, or should you find yourself in trouble, be able to have not one but two partners there ready to relieve you.
And he's doing a good job right now of isolating one LA Cordova, who is in a world of hurt. Now looking at three consecutive shoulder tackles, but he got a little hip check in the corner.
Yeah, one switching things up there, and he's a one-man wrecking crew at the moment. Oh, this does not look like it bodes well for LA Cordova. Grabbing on anything he can.
Referee John Long trying to get him out of the corner.
Yeah. Oh, but Juan got him out of the corner without the need for any encouragement from the referee, for sure.
But both Gandy and Taylor in there to break up the pin cover. And like you said, these six-man tags, it's almost like a triple threat match or a multiple competitor match. As this one is, you got to have eyes in the back of your head.
Absolutely. Well, you see the tag team champions switching off there, as we said, containing the action in their corner of the ring. Breaks the laces of the boot, even with the mask. That's irritating on many levels.
Now, I know those Hillbillies have tagged together for a long time, and so have the tag team champions, but Aaron Hurt, I have to ask you, when you integrate a guy like Wicked Will or Gary Gandy, who would you say has an advantage in this particular type of matchup?
I would say Will might be more impetuous, might be more interested in trying to get his hands on Gary Gandy, although he's got a chokehold on Morgan Taylor at the moment, but you can never just count the cunning of Gandy with his pedigree as a former champion, as well as what we've seen emerge from Taylor and Cordova as their success in 2018 has continued. Will slides under, scoops the leg. Oh, Gandy, there you see, that's what I'm talking about right there, to cut Will off when the opportunity presented itself.
And a blatant cheap shot outside the ring. Certainly something that is not uncharacteristic for one Gary Gandy.
This is where I feel the tale will be told which team allows their emotion to get the best of them and get them out of a game plan, disrupt whatever planning they may have been able to do before coming into this match.
Will's got to get a tag here soon, Aaron.
Yeah, he is in trouble in the corner of the opposition. Gandy reaches out for the tag, of course, trying to strike while Will is down.
And notice that Cordova stayed in the ring, manipulating the referee's 5 count, and held Wicked Will in his corner until Gandy could get in and start applying some pressure.
Yeah, learning the lessons that we laid out just a short while ago about successful strategies for tag team wrestling. Gandy, with that big clothesline, dumps Will all the way up and over to the arena floor here. John D still yet to be involved in the match as a legal participant. Not nearly enough time to educate the fans on all the backstory between Will and Gandy. Just refer you to past episodes here at PWA on YouTube. Big tandem maneuver there.
Just about decapitated Wicked Will, and he still finds the strength, the intestinal fortitude to kick out.
But Will has been on a mission to establish independence, to establish credibility as his own man, proving not just to Gandy but the entire PWA that he doesn't need anybody's help to succeed. We've known that he had the potential. Now we're starting to see it manifest itself. Though he gets planted with a big scoop and a slam.
I'm very impressed by this young man, LA Cordova. He has honed his wrestling skills to a razor-sharp point in the very brief time that I have seen him. He just keeps getting better and better and better.
Absolutely. He is certainly one of the more underrated in-ring wrestlers, I would say, by the fans in PWA. I mean, I certainly hesitate to compliment the man, but there's no way around it, as you pointed out. His partner's no slouch either. Say what you will about the way that they accomplished their goals, they've been successful.
Absolutely. Jawjacker by Wicked Will. Could this be the opening, Aaron?
Makes the tag to Big John D. Comes in a house of fire. He wants to get a piece of any one of these men, but he's especially had his sights set on Morgan Taylor and LA Cordova.
Yeah, not a lot of finesse from Big John D. It's just going to be fist and feet and whatever he can throw at you. But he is, at least for the moment, was going to town. But the tag team champions have been able to weather the storm.
As I said, there's that numbers advantage. John D's attention diverted by LA Cordova, enabling Morgan Taylor to come in from behind with a cheap shot. Will trying to get his bearings, as well as Gary Gandy.
Hashtag ouch. Had him right by the ear.
Yeah, face first into the turnbuckle. Oh, a little air hillbilly there. I would assume that's a prop play. Nonetheless, cover by Juan. Finally, in firm control of things here. Out of the full arm dragon twist, lays in a couple of heavy shoulder blocks. Duck under and a forearm, more of an elbow strike.
Morgan Taylor now asserting himself aggressively. Might be wise to get back into his corner and make a tag to one of his partners here, Aaron.
Yeah, boot to the midsection. Another kick right to the jaw, staggers Juan. You can see the anxiety from Juan's partners on the outside, trying to encourage him to at least weather this flurry of offense.
This Morgan Taylor, he will mock anybody, won't he? He's mocking the official, he's mocking his opponents.
He is perhaps the most self-centered person I've met inside or outside of the wrestling business.
That's probably saying a mouthful.
Indeed it is. Juan might be spitting out a mouthful of teeth. Looked like Gandy had the forearm right across the jaw as he dropped down with that Uranage to add a little bit of extra impact.
Definitely got Juan rocked over here in the corner. Come on, referee. He looked like he was choking. Now he's pulling the man's mask.
Yeah, mounted punches. Right hands in the corner. Referee well within his rights to force a break there. But Juan completely undeterred, at least until that high knee met his sternum. Big springboard into the splash. In the neutral corner, still.
John D, I think he felt that he had to come in there and save his partner, or else this one was over.
Juan able to kick out, but Morgan Taylor right back to work.
And notice the positioning. Morgan Taylor keeping his body in between the Lucha Billy.
Got one draped on that middle rope and just plants him with the DDT.
Goes right over into the cover. No wasted motion, Aaron.
No, this has been perhaps to the dismay of the fans, pretty much all about the tag team champions and their partner, Gary Gandy.
And to their credit, they have been putting on a six-man tag team clinic in this matchup against their opponents. Nice.
Been able to use teamwork, been able to use the positioning of the referee to their advantage. Juan fires back with a few right hands. And a big clothesline. Needs to take this opening to make a tag.
I'm not sure that he knows where he is. He went to the neutral corner.
Well, I believe feels like he's got LA Cordova rocked. Drops him right down on the back of his neck with that belly-to-back suplex.
But again, he goes to the neutral corner. I think I can hear John saying, come on over, make the tag, but maybe Juan's got something else in mind.
Well, he's certainly feeling the adrenaline. Comes up and gets caught with a huge cutter. What awareness by LA Cordova.
Wow. This is a pick'em right here because I can't see who's going to be able to come back from that cutter right there.
Perhaps that brief delay in crawling over to make the cover is what enabled Juan to have the awareness to get his foot on the rope.
And now Cordova jawing with the official. I thought the count was pretty fluid.
Yeah, he's apoplectic in there, having a tantrum. Juan able to fight him off.
He fell back into his own corner, though, luckily, and was able to get a tag from Gary Gandy.
Yeah, I think Gandy made a blind tag in that case. Oh, Insaguri, that steel-toed work boot, that adds so much more impact to that maneuver. Right to the back of the head, the external occipital protuberance, as I've heard other commentators refer to it. Now big John D back in.
Now he's a one-man wrecking crew on all three members of the opposition.
Driving those elbows in line in public, scooping a slam. Crowd roars its approval.
I was going to say, not going for a cover. This might be a wasted opportunity right here.
Keep your eyes on Juan back there.
I think Wicked Will might be the legal man. He got the tag from John.
Yeah, all 6 men in here doing battle. Oh no, this does not bode well for Juan.
This does not look good at all.
Will down in one corner.
We're going to see a tag team.
Oh my goodness, look at this.
Are the bells going to be ringing for the Tower of London?
Hard to say who got the worst of that. John D sacrificed Juan to dish out some punishment to the tag team champions. But now Will back to his feet.
And Will and I believe Gary Gandy are the legal combatants, and this is the one that I know that these two men, especially Wicked Will, has been waiting for this entire matchup.
No, this has been a highly anticipated confrontation, especially if you ask the men slugging it out, blow for blow, right hands turning into a hockey fight here. Oh, big headbutt. If you ask either one of these men, there's been nothing else on their mind but squaring off with their opposite number here. Oh, avoids the big running boot. Thought he might have been going for a slingshot suplex there. Will able to get his balance on the apron, connects with the shoulder block.
Beautiful roundhouse kick from Wicked Will.
And this could be the opportunity that he's looking for to gain a victory with only these two men near the ring. Oh!
Full Nelson face plant. This might be it. 2 and 3. Wicked Will and Dos Hillbillies picking up a well-earned, hard-fought victory in the main event of this episode of PWA on YouTube. What a matchup. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us both here in Zanesville and from wherever that you are watching us live. We certainly do appreciate it. Don't forget to check out pwaohio.com. Follow us on Facebook, however that you stay connected, and we thank you for doing so and supporting the Premier Wrestling Alliance. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the PWA, and what a great matchup that we have just witnessed. Dos Hillbillies and Wicked Will victorious.
Tremendous victory for the trio of the Hillbillies and Wicked Will in our big 6-man main event. Good to see Will finally dish out a little bit of comeuppance to Gary Gandy, as well as seeing the Hillbillies get a little bit of payback as well against the men who took those tag team titles from them a short while ago. Of course, talking about L.A. Cordova and gorgeous Morgan Taylor. That will do it for this edition, fans. Make sure that you like and follow PWA on Facebook. Make sure you check out PWAOhio.com regularly for information about ticket on sale dates for shows coming to an area near you. We are going to be in action next time in Lancaster on October the 6th at the PWA Arena. Got another big event set up for the Fairfield County Fairgrounds in the month of October. So keep your eyes on Facebook, on PWAOhio.com for all of the details about those events. And don't forget to share this video with all of your wrestling fan friends, family members, anyone that you think needs to get educated to what Premier Wrestling Alliance is doing to revolutionize independent wrestling in Central Ohio.